Prisons give the world a sense of comfort and peace, knowing that criminals are behind bars, while here the criminals are given the punishment they deserve. However, sometimes the punishment is too much because all human rights are violated, and the inmates are subject to all sorts of inhumane activities. Today, we will check out 10 most dangerous prisons in the world. Number 10. La Sabaneta Prison, Venezuela. La Sabaneta is located in Venezuela and is considered one of the most brutal correctional facilities in South America. Many diseases run rampant inside, and there is little to no care given to ill inmates. This, in combination with the facility being understaffed, causes many violent crimes inside. It is considered to be the most brutal prison in South America. Basic tool of torture of this prison is ignorance of the prisoners. No medical aid is provided, and dearth of food is always there. Insanity is so prevalent here that once cholera wiped out 700 inmates. In 1994, 100 inmates were massacred here. Violence is another act prevalent here. Inmates are said to use any object near them as the weapon to attack each other. Competition for survival is found to occur over here. Meager availability of basic amenities of life lead to this competition. Number 9. Al-Hayr Prison, Saudi Arabia. Worst place in the Middle East. This place claims to break the hardest of criminals. Torture is the key to punishment in this prison. Inmates protest against these tortures no matter the result of this protest in their death. In 2002, a fire lit by one of the inmates killed 140 of the prisoners and 40 guards. Except for the machine guns and guard towers, the Al-Hayr high-security prison looks remarkably like a hotel, especially the conjugal visit wing. Beyond a heavy iron gate, its bars painted a cheerful lavender. A red carpet stretches the length of a long hallway, where each of the 38 private cells has a queen-size bed, a fridge, a television, and a shower. Here, just around the corner from the prison ATM, married inmates are allowed to spend 3 to 5 private hours with their wives at least once a month, with fresh linens and tea and sweets on the nightstand. Nearly 1,100 high-security prisoners, all of them jailed on terrorism-related charges, are serving time in this prison a few miles south of Riyadh. Al-Hayr is the largest of 5 high-security Saudi prisons established in the past decade to deal with the growing terrorism threat. Number 8. Gitarama Prison, Rwanda. Gitarama Central Prison is located in Rwanda, Africa. The conditions inside the prison have been so bad that prisoners in the past have resorted to eating each other's flesh just to stay alive. It was originally designed to house just 400 prisoners. However, in the 1990s, it housed nearly 7,000 inmates. Tool of torture used by this prison is insufficient place to the prisoners. Basically designed place for 400 inmates is being filled with 6,000 prisoners. Human feces is said to fill the occupied areas, which causes gangrene to prisoners, resulting in their death. Food is also provided and so much scarce that prisoners have been reported to eat each other's flesh out of desperation and stress. Most of the prisoners held here have committed genocide-related crime. All other jails in the country have no better conditions since retribution is high following the 1994 genocide. If you were to classify worst prisons in the world by country, Rwanda will take the first position. The New York Times published an article, "Rwanda Jails, No Space, No Food, No Justice," describing the jail's inhumane conditions. Number 7. Diyarbakir Prison, Turkey. Diyarbakir Prison in southeastern Turkey was built in 1980. Since then, it has imprisoned many of that nation's most violent criminals. This prison is known for dishing out not just physical torture to its inmates, but mental as well. There are two sections within the facility, namely the E-type, which has a capacity of 744 prisoners, and the D-type, with a 688 capacity. However, both currently hold more prisoners than they should. The prison is said to perform maximum violations of human rights per prisoner. Besides physical, mental torture, and sexual abuse of the prisoners, the most dreading fact about this prison is that even children are also incarcerated for life without pity. This fact really makes this prison stand out of the list. Number 6. La Sante Prison, France. It is said that worst prisons occur in least developed countries. This prison in France is said to provide the most scary and mentally disintegrating place, which results into suicide by the prisoners. The worst part is the way of committing suicide. The prison is known as such a brutal place that many prisoners have taken their own lives over serving their sentence there. 1999 saw the suicides of 124 prisoners. The violence in the prison is so pervasive that the prisoners are only out of their cells 4 hours out of the day. The prison system also creates a hierarchical structure that makes some prisoners more powerful than others, and the conditions worse for the weaker prisoners. The prisoners swallow rat poison, forks, and even drain cleaners to put an end to their lives. More than 100 prisoners each year are reported to have committed suicide. Prisoners are said to cram clothes into the crack of their cells to prevent rats to enter. More horrible part of human life is to become bait of these nibbling creatures. They must be like Satan for the prisoners. Number 5. Bang Kwang Prison, Thailand. Bang Kwang Prison is located in Bangkok, Thailand, and is nicknamed the Bangkok Hilton. However, it is far from being a place that anyone would want to stay. The prison is known for routine torture of its inmates. Inmates are crammed into small cells, and death row inmates are often given as little as 2 hours' notice before they are dragged off to their execution. This men's-only correctional facility is considered one of the worst prisons in the Far East. The prison is overcrowded and understaffed. This jail even houses several foreign prisoners as well as inmates who are awaiting their execution. It is very confusing to pick up which torture of this prison is worse. It is said that mental stress given is enough to make a person crazy within 1 month. Bangkok Hilton is known for its mental and physical torture. For the first 3 months of punishment, the prisoners wear leg irons. And if capital punishment is not awarded, these leg irons are permanently welded. It is considered to be the most brutal prison in Thailand. It houses many foreign prisoners and handles death row inmates. Number 4. Tadmor Military Prison, Syria. The Tadmor prison, located in Tadmor in the deserts of Syria, is about 200 kilometers from Damascus. The prison originally was meant to be a military detention facility. However, during the 80s, they began housing all sorts of criminals inside. The prison was shut down in 2001. However, it was opened back up again in 2011. Amnesty International has declared this prison as the most oppressive prison of the world. It says that its each and every action is done to torture the prisoners. Executions are said to be done on a massive scale. One instance of the massive execution is done in June 1980, when President Hafez al-Assad ordered the killing of all the prisoners as retaliation for the attempted assassination on his life by the Muslim Brotherhood. The massacre program lasted for 2 weeks, which resulted in the death of around 800 to 2,400 inmates. Guards are famous for their uncontrollable, cruel behavior towards inmates. They have said to cut prisoners with axes, tied up with rope and dragged around to death. And even this is not enough, they have also been reported to beat the prisoners with metal pipes. Number 3. Texas State Penitentiary, United States of America. This prison is the proud executioner. It is said to execute maximum number of prisoners in the U.S., means any person getting admission to this prison will have maximum chance to get rid of his life. This prison can simply be called as the way to the other world. it is definitely an assurance to death. Number 2. Camp 22, North Korea. An isolated prison for political prisoners has been in operation since 1965. It has a huge compound that can hold 50,000 prisoners. It must like a whole village of criminals. The most unique way of punishment of this prison is that dissident families have been imprisoned there for 3 generations, so that the whole family tree is removed from roots. Second tool of torture of this prison is that the inmates are used for human experimentation, where they are made lab rats for biological weapons like anthrax, bomb testing, and other brutalities. What else can be worse for a person that he has been used for an experiment? A human, who is the most superior creature of this earth, is used for experiment. Number 1. Carandiru Prison, Brazil. The Carandiru Penitentiary, located in São Paulo, Brazil, first opened in 1920. However, it did not house its first criminals until 1956 and eventually closed down in 2002. In 1992, there was a huge riot and massacre inside the prison and claimed the lives of 111 prisoners. It is famous for its tragedy in 1992, which is known as Carandiru Massacre. In this mass execution of the inmates was done by the guards. Drauzio Varela, a voluntary physician, in his book Carandiru Station, mentioned his own experience and the dreadful conditions over there. It has recorded 1,300 deaths in its 46 years of history. It was closed down in 2002. Surely it must have been the worst prison of the world, due to which Amnesty International came forward and asked about the Human Rights Violations Act done in the prison, which the Brazilian government failed to answer. Do let us know in the comments what you think of these prisons. Please subscribe to The Luxury World. Have a good day. Thanks for watching.